Hey everybody, welcome back to James Draws Everything. Today, continuing drawing every country in the world's flag, and I think I got a pretty good one today. I'm always surprised when I go into this part of the world, so we're going to be going back down into Southeast Asia on the island of Borneo and doing the country of Brunei. Alright, so again, whenever I travel down to this part of the world, I'm always surprised by the history. I think these are all pretty unique, interesting places. So we'll look at the history of this place, and it also has a pretty unique flag. So very recognizable. You're not going to confuse the Brunei flag with any other ones. So we'll get down to it. And this country, again, it's on the island of Borneo, but it's not the only country there. It's the only country that is completely on the island of Borneo. So it shares Borneo with Malaysia as well as Indonesia. And it's kind of cut into like two little slivers on the northern part of the island. So it's only about the size of Delaware. And it's also one of the oldest sultanates in the world. And a sultanate is basically like an Islamic sort of kingdom. And the sultan, the Islamic sultan, is pretty much completely sovereign, right? Like he doesn't answer to a parliament or a congress or anything like that. He's pretty much supreme. So it's kind of like a monarchy too. And the guy in charge of this place right now, he's kind of like one of the oldest sort of absolute monarchs in the world. All right. So yeah, the same family has ruled this place for actually 6 centuries. The House of Bolkiah. And the official name of this country, Brunei Darussalam. And it is a majority Islamic country, so they do have elements of like Sharia law in their penal system, as well as some elements of like British common law, because the British were there for a while as well. All right, so it's got a really unique kind of. Let's see. Yeah, actually, hold on one second, because I just want to make sure we got the dimensions right on this one. Okay. So it's got a very fat band kind of going all the way through it. Just got to make sure I give myself enough space. Draw this cool little insignia they got in the center. Alright, hold on. Almost there. Alright. So yeah, Brunei. One of the oldest, kind of kingdoms like that in the world. And they had a lot more control over that part of the world than they do now. The kind of stretched over like northwest Borneo into the Philippines. And some internal strife, concerns over the line of succession for rulers there, and some colonial expansion kind of leads to Brunei sort of shrinking over the years. So Europeans do show up kind of around the age of exploration period, like the 16th century, and they actually do go to war with Spain. And I won't get into too much of the specifics of that because it's not all relevant to this country's history. But yeah, they do this war is mainly just like an anti-imperialist war, but it's a little bit more than just that. So it's also kind of where Islam really sets foot in this country. So the Ottomans are kind of involved in this, and yeah, it's believed that Buddhism was probably one of the original religions in this place, and then it gets kind of replaced by Islam much later on. And that war is also kind of like an offshoot of the rivalry between the Ottoman Empire and the Habsburgs. So yeah, they're not welcoming to like their colonizers, of course, because who is, right? So Portuguese are there a little bit too, but yeah, it's mainly the Spanish, what they go to war with. And then the British show up much later. So Great Britain becomes a British protectorate in 1888. Just want to make sure I get this in the right spot here. It's tricky. Yeah, so their influence lasts a little bit longer, and Brunei actually becomes much closer to the British than they were with like any other European power. So they kind of have like a government that the British set up there. Going into World War II, the Japanese do invade, and then when that's over and it goes back to Britain, that's sort of when the British set up like their form of government there. So they do allow, the king or the sultan to stay in power. But Brunei does have a lot of like internal autonomy. So the Britain mainly supplies like their defense and foreign policy and things like that. But yeah, Brunei's allowed to run the ship, run the house on their own. And it's got two hands here, so like two praying hands that we'll detail a little bit. I don't know what they're connected to. They're just severed hands, or they're like what's the guy from the Addams Family? Is it the Thing or is it it? What one's the hairy one, right? I always get those confused. Just a random hand, right, on this flag. And so they also have like a Gurkha regiment there, and that sort of serves like within the British Army. All right, so we can get rid of some of these lines now that we got this in here. And they achieve independence from Britain in 1984. All right, so still have some close ties with the country, but yeah, they declined to join. Again, I mentioned this, the Malay Federation. So that was like Malaysia, Singapore was part of that, which it got booted out. So a lot of kind of struggles in that part of the world with like all those different groups there and stuff. This does have some pretty intricate writing in here, so I'm just gonna, and it is in yellow. I just want to get some yellow down before I go over that in the red. Yeah, in this country, so they are kind of considered like a Malay people. And there's a lot of Chinese there as well. And go watch my Malaysia episode, because I talk a little bit about the the discriminations and disparities that happen in this region of the world, where there is kind of some hostility towards the Chinese for them kind of always getting placed in like higher income positions, and just generally moving up higher on the economic ladder. So there's a lot of like affirmative action and things like that for the Malays. But they also, it's a Muslim country, but there's it's not like Iran or something like that, so it's a little bit different. They do allow some like religious freedom here, but the Sharia law stuff, that kind of really amped up in like the 21st century. So right, the international community, they shrieked in horror at that. And one thing about this country too, it's one of those countries. So like the Chinese minority there, and all the other minorities, basically only the Malays have rights. So other races, other peoples, they can't own property. They have very limited protections from the legal system. And again, a country with self-respect. So it's their country. Do whatever you want. And yeah, so they get in hot water for a lot of that stuff. But when you're a country like this, you're kind of just left alone, right? They don't shriek in horror until they need something from you. And this country, it actually is an extremely rich country. They have a very high GDP per capita, one of the highest in the world, and that's basically due to all the petroleum and natural gas reserves there. So they're definitely an attractive trading partner, for places like China or even like Australia, India. Supplying those resources to that part of the globe. Alright, I think I'm going to switch to my thinner black here because this gets pretty detailed. Okay. And yeah, so in addition to rights kind of only being a thing for the native population, they have a very, kind of like Singapore, they have a very kind of zero tolerance policy for crime. Right, so some of them Muslim countries, right, they get pretty strict. So drug trafficking in this country is punishable by death. So you get the death penalty for slinging dope here. So stay away, druggies. And yeah, again, these very different culture, not a Western liberal place, so what works for them doesn't always work for us, and that's fine, right? We don't have to make every country in the world the same. Everybody kind of does their own thing, and as long as we're left alone, right, you can prosper. And Brunei just recently, I talked in a couple of those African episodes about who like the longest running heads of state are right now, right? And there's, I think the guy in Equatorial Guinea, he's way up there. But the guy here, their current sultan, Hassan al-Bolkiah, he just celebrated his 50th anniversary in 2017. So he's been in power for over 50 years here. So that is a very long time. So since the 60s, even before their independence. It's an extremely difficult country to gain citizenship to, right? So you have to pass very rigorous tests on, Malay cultures and traditions and the Islamic traditions there. So, hey, isn't that how the United States is supposed to work? At least it used to be. So yeah, one of those countries where they just they suffer no fools, right? So they don't tolerate disrespecting their heritage, and they're always going to put their own people ahead of you. So sorry, you, but if you can't cut the mustard here, you ain't welcome, and that's okay because you don't have to live here, right? Alright, so we're almost done here. It's just got a yellow background, and then I just got to do some more details on what's inside there. Because yeah, there's still a little bit more going on that little coat of arms. Okay. Yeah, so even if you are, if you're a foreigner, an outsider, and you do pass the test, right, you still can't own land. You still have limited representation in, like, the legal system. I don't think there's any voting here, right, because it is a sultanate. There might be some, like, lower level stuff for, like, local elections or local politics, but yeah, one of those countries that's considered one of the only remaining absolute monarchies in the world. Let's get rid of those lines here. And this actually came out pretty good. All right, so let me just get we want to get a really finer liner here, and we'll just draw these hands. Right, so they got the thumb kind of hanging out there, and this thing is sort of, this looks like a lamp or something. It's got some little ornate designs over it, and it's got like these wings up here that will just kind of pop out a little bit, and it's got like a circus big top or something. Likening this flag to the circus, that might be a death penalty for me if I was in Brunei. Right? You cannot disrespect this flag. I am sorry, Brunei. I don't plan on visiting you, but I am sorry. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm not welcome there, but that's par for the course with this channel, right? It's been a while. Time to get excommunicated from another country. So can you get kicked out of a place that you don't even want to go to in the first place? I guess so. All right. I think that we're done with this one. So let's actually, hold on. These aren't just hands. They got little cuffs on them. They got little bracelets or something. So that's cool. All right, let's get those in there. All right, James, what can you tell us about this flag? So we got a yellow with a diagonal white and black. The emblem in the red, and then the yellow is the color of royalty that symbolizes the Sultanate. The white and black are the chief ministers of Brunei, and then the emblem inside has 5 components to it. Actually, hold on, I just noticed I missed something else too. One of these real complicated little flags here. All right, there we go. So yeah, 5 emblems in there. It's got a swallow-tailed flag, atop the royal umbrella. Ooh, it's a royal umbrella. And then that represents the monarchy. The wings are 4 feathers symbolizing justice, tranquility, prosperity, and peace. And then it's got 2 upraised hands, right, like praying hands. And those... actually, hold on, I just noticed something else too. That's the government's pledge to preserve and promote the welfare of the people, but only their own people, right? And again, no issue with that. And then the crescent moon is Islam. Where's there a moon? Oh, okay, yeah, that's a moon. All right, so that's a very slender crescent moon there. And then the state religion says, and remember guys, I always write this on there. So if you, if you can write in this country's script here, you want to zoom in real close, pause the video if you have to. This says, always render service with God's guidance. All right. And it really does say that. And then we got some more too. There's a lot of it. In another Arabic script on the bottom here, this little ribbon below the crescent, this says Brunei, the abode of peace. And again, I really wrote that. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna shut it down here in Brunei. We're gonna shut down the left. We're gonna shut down the right. Shut down the top. Shut it all down, James. Hurry up. All right, shut down the top. And then turn off the lights. Lock the door, because we're shutting off the bottom. This flag is completely closed in now. Shutting it down. Here on James Draws Everything. Shutting down another row on this page. We are getting there. We're just moving along. Almost done. Got maybe a few more pages here. And that is the country of Brunei, right? Another interesting Southeast Asian country with a pretty cool flag. So let me know what you think about Brunei. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video.